Oh, I knew looking at the camera. Is that where I'm? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm here, bro.
You good now?
Yeah,
You sure?
yeah. Let's get it, bro.
All right. You ready? You ready for this?
Hello, audience. All right, we are back again. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and subscribe. At the very least, subscribe so we can continue to drop this information to you guys so you can readily have it. This is CPGM Drew, and I am here to discuss Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl, Senior Bowl, Senior Bowl, the all-star game of college football, the creme de la creme, the big boy, the Super Bowl of all-star games in college football. Down there in Mobile, Alabama, headed up by Jim Nagy and crew. The Senior Bowl has catapulted so many different players up the draft boards, and even players that have gone out for the week, maybe gotten injured and end up not playing in the game, but maybe they had a good practice week, or maybe they didn't practice at all and just had interviews throughout the process. Teams got a feel for who they are. There's agents out there, there's GMs, there's draftniks, there's bloggers, and it's something that, in my personal opinion, is extremely positive for any player that's going to go out there and show what they have, whether it be on the whiteboard, whether it be out on the practice field, in the game. Just those different things to showcase themselves and improve themselves. And it's also a space to where, if coaches aren't sure, GMs, scouting departments aren't sure, hey, I'm not sure if this guy can play running back, can he play receiver, so he gets a chance to work there, bringing a guy down from being a safety to a corner, or down to a linebacker, or moving someone from offense to defense, defensive line to offensive line, just different things that happen to see what else could this guy do outside of what he was asked to do in college, or for guys who are used in multiple different ways and you're not sure where they fit in your scheme. So it's a possibility that that guy can be ran through the gambit to kind of figure those things out. But it's a great place to be outside of getting injured and setting you back. I think that it's an extreme positive more than it is a negative. So I think all players should, at the very least, show up. Whether they play or not, is completely up to them. But I think showing up and at least interviewing and talking with the powers to be in the NFL can only help. So unless I guess you're going to be the number one pick, I suppose. But what we want to do here at Couch Potato General Manager is we want to go ahead and essentially, anytime that there is a name drop that's going to be invited to the Senior Bowl, we want to go ahead and kind of give you a synopsis of that player. Just detailing, hey, here's some positives, here's some negatives, the school, their name, weight, height, and how they were perceived coming out of high school. Gives you a general synopsis of who they are and what you'll be looking for when you go into the Senior Bowl. And in this case, this video is coming out well before the season starts, so can even discuss things that we're looking for as we're going into the season. And so what Jim Nagy has done is he's essentially, not Jim Nagy, he may be the one heading up the Senior Bowl Twitter account, but he essentially tweeted out some name plates that are going to go up on the board of the big whiteboard that they cleared out from last year, that they will continue to fill and as they invite players and people that go, obviously they'll stay on the board. People that say, hey, I'm not going to go for whatever reason, then obviously they'll pull the name off the board. But I want to talk about the players that obviously are going to be invited and hopefully they'll accept, and we'll go through that little profile with them. It was tweeted by the Reese'S Senior Bowl Twitter account, nameplates that of players from various colleges that most likely will be anticipated to get invited to the Senior Bowl. There were some offensive linemen, there were some running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. Take a look who's there, and what I want to discuss is the two tight ends, Jake Ferguson from Wisconsin and Cade Otton from Washington. Let us start with Jake Ferguson, tight end out of Wisconsin, standing at 6'5", 240 pounds. Over his career, he has 99 receptions for 1,168 yards, 10 touchdowns in 34 games. Was on the John Mackey watch list for 2020. and didn't play too many games, obviously, because we know the pandemic, but he was a 4-star recruit by 24/7 and ESPN. He was a 3-star recruit by Rivals.com. He comes from a background, his dad and his brother both played college ball, so there's some pedigree there, if you will, in terms of college ball. A couple of pros and cons, or negatives, positives, that I saw just watching some of the tape with him. He was an extension of the offensive line. He works easily to the second level to find his guy to block. Good at releasing at the line of scrimmage from inline position. Is able to, kind of give him the swim move, or just kind of work through someone trying to press him, or just keep him on the line. Standing at 6'5", 240, he should be able to beat out most corners and safeties and things like that. Depending on the linebacker, obviously, you'd like to see that challenge more, but for whatever reason in college, there usually isn't too much pressing or trying to keep people at the line of scrimmage at bay. So, but he shows his numbers to the quarterback when he's after he's gotten his break within his route, and that's one thing that I think is big on receivers, but generally to tight ends, because they're usually can be a safety valve to the quarterback, and showing your numbers as you're breaking is always a positive in my eyes, and he's a big-time red zone threat. But in terms of the negatives, I was a little lighter than I'd liked at the tight end position for a guy who was used extensively to block. Not that he was bad at blocking, but just I thought, with a little bit more size, could add a little bit more strength and make things a little bit simpler for himself. And also I thought that he would come out a little too high and a little too aggressive, and would whiff on blocks and slip off at the point of attack. So there's just technique issues going on there. All right, next up we got Cade, Otton. Tight end, Washington, 6'5", 240 pounds. Had 63 receptions, 776 yards, and 8 touchdowns in 31 games played over his college career. Named first team All Pac-12. One of 8 semifinalists, obviously, for the John Mackey Award, just like Jake Ferguson. In high school, obviously, Rivals.com, number 20 tight end in America, rated the number 8 prospect in the state, and number 22 tight end in the nation by 247.com. He's also athletic, played some basketball, so that speaks to his ability. And by the way, both these tight ends played defense in high school as well, so had plenty of tackles and made some plays. Some of the positives for Otton was another tight end who was an extension of the offensive line. Another red zone threat, works well getting across the face of defenders in the middle of the field. That's one thing that I noticed right away, and shows his number to the quarterback. So not only does he show his numbers to the quarterback, but he's able to work across the face of the defender, then show his numbers to the quarterback, and that can only, in my opinion, be a positive thing, and can only make the quarterback want to throw the ball your way. And he was open a lot, just for whatever reason the quarterback didn't go his way, in my opinion. So some of his negatives, again, he's standing at 240 pounds, 6'5", wish he had a little bit more weight on him, but hey, this is just my personal opinion. The powers that be, the scouts, the GMs, may feel he's just fine. But because he was an extension of the offensive line, I thought, hey, let's add a little bit more weight, man, another 7 to 10 pounds, and I'll be comfortable. But that's just me. And will at times not latch onto defenders when going in for the block. Usually we'll try to, use his shoulder to knock a guy down, or that's his way of blocking, is just making contact, and usually would just kind of bounce off the guy, and then now you've created a problem where the guy following you that has the ball, is getting caught by that guy, or at the very least getting slowed down because you're getting pushed back. So some technique things there, and that seems pretty small to adjust, or that just may be a mentality thing by him. So, but those are the two guys that I wanted to kind of go over. Let me know your thoughts on those two guys, and the other guys that you see that were, have nameplates, and whether they accept or not. Let me know your thoughts on those guys. CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager is the YouTube channel, guys. Like, subscribe. Looking for 2,500, man. 2,500 before the season begins. Let's see if we can get there.